Christina Aguilera has been remembered over the years as one of the strong voices of her time. From a very young age, she started to pursue her career in the music industry, allowing her to grow with trends that ended up influencing her sound, making them altogether unique. However, along the line, Aguilera embarked on some really strong transformations that stirred different opinions about her personality, sparking a wild outrage that even resulted in a staged protest in Thailand. This comes with several other challenges that she faced both in her personal life and career. Join us as we explore some of these issues that the star faced while finding her place in the industry. Christina Aguilera's childhood was one and the same thing with talent and drive, which would see her through personal troubles in pursuit of a career in the music industry. Christina Maria Aguilera was born on December 18, 1980 in Staten Island, New York, to a family with numerous mixed cultural heritage. Her father, Fausto Xavier Aguilera, came from Ecuador, while her mother, Shelley Lorraine, hailed from Irish, Welsh, and Dutch ancestry. Fausto was in the United States Army. Thus, the family moved around a lot during Christina's early childhood years. With her father being in the military, this would make most people think the home Christina grew up in was strict and organized. Contrarily, Christina had a really troubled childhood. She has publicly talked about how her father was emotionally and physically abusive toward her mother, something that really affected her when she was younger and later became part of some of her song lyrics. By the time Christina was 6 years old, her parents had divorced. Shelley moved Christina and her younger sister to live with her grandmother in Rochester, Pennsylvania, close to Pittsburgh. The stability of living in one place enabled Christina to put more energy into her love of singing, and it was clear from an early age that she had an exceptional talent. Even as a small girl, her voice was far stronger than other children her age, and soon it won recognition within her own local community. Christina's mother was a pianist and violinist, exposing her to classic soul, blues, and pop music. She grew up idolizing such immensely powerful voices as those of Etta James, Whitney Houston, and Aretha Franklin. Her mom's taste in music was pretty inspiring, covering a wide range of genres. Christina had grown to love singing at a very tender age and used to perform in family gatherings locally and even in school talent shows. When she was 8 years old, Christina appeared on one of the most popular platforms for young talents at that time, the talent competition show Star Search. She did a very impressive performance with A Sunday Kind of Love. Though she didn't come out at the top, it was very important for her development as a performer. The exposure on Star Search helped to harden her resolve to work on her music career and fueled her ambition to break into the industry. An early career struggle was starting her major label recording career with RCA Records in 1990. After Star Search, Christina continued to perform locally, whether through talent shows or singing her version of the national anthem at various local Pittsburgh sporting events. Powerful performances of the Star-Spangled Banner at professional sports events at age 10 made her a highlight in the city, and she soon gained the reputation of being a vocal prodigy. At such an early stage, Christina was bullied by peers who were envious of her advanced talents. Her family protected her through this by moving several times, trying to shield her from the negative attention. Christina's biggest break as a youngster came when, in 1993, she auditioned and was cast to be a member of the Mickey Mouse Club. At only 12, she became part of a cast that included other up-and-coming stars such as Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Ryan Gosling, and Kerry Russell. The Mickey Mouse Club honed Christina's talents in singing, dancing, and acting, and provided her with long-lasting professional connections. She was one of the younger cast members, and Christina's mighty voice combined with her confident stage presence made her stand out from the crowd. The show served as a starting platform for many young talents, and it gave Christina that important push into the music industry. Christina was in the Mickey Mouse Club until 1994, when the show was canceled. However, this experience in the series was key to making her the performer that she became, and it was a door opener to entertainment. After the show ended, Christina and her family spent some time in Japan, where she collaborated with Japanese pop star Keizo Nakanishi, recording All I Wanna Do. This was one of her first professional recordings and gave her some experience in the recording studio. Her big break came in 1998 when Christina recorded the song Reflection for the Disney animated movie Mulan. This opportunity cropped up after she sent in a demo tape of herself singing Whitney Houston's Run to You from The Bodyguard. Producers were so impressed by her vocal range that she got chosen to sing the movie's theme song. Not only did Reflection receive critical acclaim, but it also led to Christina signing with RCA Records when she was 18. It revealed the maturity of her voice and launched her career as a recording artist in the mainstream music scene. Although it is fair to say that compared to many other cases, the road to breaking into the industry after Reflection was relatively short, Christina had prepared for such an opportunity well in advance. Recognition and career building in music had marked her early years with attempts. She had recorded demo tapes, performed at numerous talent shows, and worked with various producers in hopes of landing a record deal before RCA Records came along. Apart from her officially declared music career, Christina had one more engagement with the entertainment industry, related to her film projects. As a young girl, she made an appearance in the 1991 movie The Mickey Mouse Club, the video yearbook. That was not serious acting, but just further development of her on-camera experience, which helped her build more confidence in performance. Her early experiences with acting and performing as a child star gave her well-rounded ability as an entertainer. It was not a surprise when Christina moved into the role of recording artist from merely television appearances and minor acting roles, as singing was in her blood. No other young talent at that time could perform with ease both as an actor and a singer. It was clear from her childhood days that Christina was born to be a star. When Christina Aguilera entered the adult music industry, it came with a complete reformation of her sound and image, which directed lots of controversy and media attention. Her acts of reinvention could set her apart for the record in an industry monopolized by the pop stars of the late 1990s and early 2000s, but also put her right in the middle of public scrutiny. Bold moves with her image, music, and persona catapulted her into realms of critical acclaim, commercial success, and controversy. Christina Aguilera's adult music career actually started with the release of Christina Aguilera's self-titled debut album in 1999. She had gained attention with Reflection from Mulan, but the release of Genie in a Bottle catapulted her into the spotlight. This song peaked high in the charts, reaching the #1 spot in more than one country, including the US Billboard Hot 100. Commercially, this album was a great success, spawning many hit singles like What a Girl Wants and Come On Over Baby that took her further along her position as an up-and-coming pop sensation. At the time, Aguilera was sold as the girl next door, with a clean and fresh young image that could appeal to the growing audience. As her career furthered, Aguilera grew uncomfortable with the restrictive persona her management and the music label had cast for her, feeling it was not her at all, and she wanted to express more mature themes, taking more creative control over her music. This urge for freedom and expression would one day cause a complete rebranding of her image and sound, causing a wide array of reactions and controversy. In 2002, Christina Aguilera came out with her second studio album, Stripped, which was quite different from the persona that had been previously represented. The first single in the album, entitled Dirty, was raw and provocative, with explicit and sexual imagery in both lyrical and visual content within its music video. She was scantily clad, dancing in a provocative manner around a grimy underground with steam pipes. It was a far cry from the pop star audiences had grown so accustomed to through her first album. This rebranding did not come about without a great deal of controversy. Though many applauded Aguilera in the name of embracing her sexuality and creative risk, others were outraged. The media that once used her to obtain an image of innocence now criticized her new direction as way too sexualized and inappropriate. Above all, The music video for Dirty was scandalous everywhere and banned in many countries. In Thailand, for example, protests against the video arose because the graffiti that was shown in Thailand seemed to indicate illegal sex trafficking. The perceived connection only served to incense the authorities in that country, who pulled the video from airplay in most areas. Aguilera's fresh-faced expression of her new sexual liberation, accompanied by her new sense of fashion, came at precisely the same time debates about women in the music industry and the image each should portray were being had. To many, Aguilera's rebranding was empowering, an assertion of autonomy within an industry that so often tells its female artists just how they should portray themselves. But for critics, Aguilera's overtly sexualized image was an attempt to shock the public and sell records. But no matter how much uproar there had been, Stripped went through the roof commercially, and its follow-up singles, Beautiful Fighter and Can't Hold Us Down, simply extended her reach. Beautiful became one of the biggest hits. Most applauded Aguilera for the song's message of acceptance and inclusivity, mainly in the LGBTQ+ community. Its lyrics and video, featuring dancers and performers of all genders, races, and body types, would eventually appeal to listeners of all walks of life, evening out the notorious response to Dirty. Christina Aguilera's bold rebranding with Stripped also had a major influence on the fashion culture of her time. The new Xtina persona was nothing without edgy and daring outfits meshing the worlds of punk, goth, and glam. Be it the leather chaps in the Dirty video to her platinum blonde hair with streaks of black, Aguilera's style was a statement of rebellion against what the norm for fashion was among pop stars. Aguilera was the epitome of style that trickled trends in the early 2000s. Her influence didn't stop at the front cover of an album or a video. Her brands and even designers mimicked Aguilera's style, creating a trend to make edgy, alternative fashion statements in pop music. Indeed, she was a fashion icon among people who strived to be as bold in self-expression and who moved the boundaries that seemed to resonate with a generation of girls in search of strong and independent role models. On the other hand, such a provocative image won criticism from more conservative circles. Some people even went to the extent of claiming that she was a bad example for young girls. Yet she continued to break societal expectations placed on women in entertainment. She has since been credited for having helped move the conversation on female autonomy and body confidence within the industry, and laid the ground for future artists like Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and Miley Cyrus, who would later take on personas just as bold. Off the success of Stripped, Aguilera released Back to Basics in 2006, her third studio album and a tribute album to jazz, blues, and soul music of the 1920s through the 1940s. This saw Aguilera take on a new image, shifting from the edgy punk look of old and replaced by a much more glamorous old-school look. With the singles Ain't No Other Man and Candyman, Aguilera was soon showing just how well she was able to manipulate her vocals. Even though Back to Basics turned out to be a commercial success, Aguilera's private life was going through many ups and downs during this time. She went through a painful divorce with music producer Jordan Bratman, with whom she also had a son, Max. Aguilera was emotionally drained because of the divorce, and the constant hounding by the media put stress on what was already a difficult job. Aguilera's juggling act to make her life more personalized amidst her music career began to show in her next album, Bionic, released in 2010, which received mixed reviews and failed to do very well commercially. The effort to make Aguilera sound modern and electronic with Bionic did not click with an exceptionally large audience and was touted as one of the most lowly periods in her career. With this particular album, Aguilera had gotten everything wrong in her attempt to try and remain relevant within an industry already being ruled by a number of contemporary artists, such as the very highly publicized Lady Gaga. However, Bionic has been reassessed by some as an underrated work, with several songs amassing a cult following. Now let's take a look at what Aguilera's personal life looked like. Christina Aguilera and music producer Jordan Bratman married in November 2005 after 3 years of dating. The two had met when Bratman was a producer at her record label, and an instant bond developed between them. Aguilera often spoke about how supporting Bratman was, describing him as someone who understood the pressures of the music industry and gave this shooting star some sense of stability and emotional security at the time when her career was beginning to make such rapid changes. In January 2008, the couple had their first child together, Max Liron Bratman. Aguilera said that the birth of her son changed her outlook on life and even her music. She spent some time away from the limelight and went ahead to keep a very low profile. Aguilera's marriage to Bratman was a union that apparently had a stabilizing effect on her, especially during the period when she had to balance her career with her personal life. However, by 2010, cracks began to appear in their marriage. The tension in Aguilera's career, coupled with the usual demands of growing fame and family life, was beginning to take its toll. In October 2010, Aguilera filed for divorce on grounds of irreconcilable differences. By April 2011, the divorce was finalized with joint custody over their then 5-year-old son, Max. Later, Aguilera would reflect on the divorce as one that had been painful yet necessary on her path to self-discovery and personal growth. Not long after her split with Bratman, Aguilera took up with Matthew Rutler, a production assistant on the set of her 2010 film Burlesque. In no time, things became quite serious. Over the following years, Rutler would prove to be an important figure in Aguilera's life. This Valentine's Day of 2014, Aguilera and Rutler announced their engagement, and later that summer, their daughter Summer Rain Rutler was born. Aguilera and Rutler have been engaged for several years but are yet to get married. The couple seems to show more interest in children and their respective careers. She has said that she's not in any rush down the aisle, and their relationship works amazingly well without being married. The two have had a very stable and supportive relationship, as Rutler stands with Aguilera while she rebuilds her life continuously, both personally and professionally. Christina Aguilera's impact on the music world runs deep. Her ability to transition smoothly through pop into soul, R&B, and even jazz separates her from much of her competition and has given her multiple Grammy Awards, along with critical acclaim throughout her career. Aguilera's influence far surpasses her ability as a singer. Her influence on fashion styles made her an immediate trendsetter for future artists, both male and female, within the music industry. Beginning with her 2002 album entitled Stripped, Christina Aguilera took full possession of herself and her now embraced sexual expression, without apologies for what was judged appropriate by pop female artists. While highly sexualized at that moment, her image stirred controversy, but also brought up some very important discourses on women's autonomy and self-empowerment in the music industry. Songs such as Beautiful Fighter and Can't Hold Us Down became anthems for self-love, resilience, and female empowerment, respectively, which appealed to listeners from across the world. Her positive preaching of body positivity and her unwavering ability to address issues such as bullying, gender equality, and self-acceptance have captured a wide range of fans. Aguilera's influence has reached as far as the LGBTQ+ community, where she has long been an ally and icon, with tracks like Beautiful being adopted as an anthem for self-acceptance. Her marriage, divorce, and later relationship with Matthew Rutler all reflect how she weighed her personal life against the very demanding career of a performing artist. Through it all, she had been one of the most astounding figures in the music industry, leaving behind a legacy of impressive vocal abilities, fearless artistic work, and empowerment for future generations. This brings us to the end of this video, and we hope that you enjoyed every bit of it. If there are opinions you have about Aguilera's choices, do let us know in the comments, and we will see you in the next one.